It's not many people that know about the hunting in that place. They're walking behind him.
I was coming back up here to the pylon, first pylon here on the pool. I looked down and I saw a lady sitting in the far corner playing with her hair.
On my infrared camera, I just captured something I think is a phenomenal find. The first investigation took place at the Yuma territorial prison. And what this was a prison that housed inmates from about 1850s on, all the way until about 1964.
And I can feel the spirit very clear. The punishment was very bad, very, very bad. Spirits are entities that think and they still alive. Now, ghosts are just repetition of energy events, dramatic events, or very, very happy events. So it repeats itself at the same day and the same time at the same situation.
And this was a daytime investigation, so it was unlikely that we would find any orbs. And we searched around the prison for a little bit and found a solitary confinement cell. And, you know, we shot some footage in there of Virginia describing the scratchings on the wall. And it wasn't until 3 months later we got it in post and we realized, you know, that we did have an orb in that location. It was difficult to see, but, you know, once we took a look at it closer, we definitely found there was an orb.
Here we are at the Lee Hotel in Yuma, Arizona. We are investigating an entity by the name of Clarence in the back room, downstairs lobby.
You guys, they're not, it was a bar, but they're not civilians, they are soldiers fighting. They're fighting to the death. The old man's name is Clarence.
While we were in Yuma at the Hotel Lee, we captured an entity on film.
He's 89 years old. He's very
We just followed you over there.
Hey, come back at us. Here he comes again. Oh, see that one?
Clarence, if you'll notice, just appears out of the center of the room as a ball of light, supposedly a spirit.
Come this way again. Clarence. Oh, there he went.
Oh my gosh, there goes again.
There he is.
I can't see him in my viewfinder, but I can see him in her viewfinder through mine.
He's still hovering around the ground. He was coming this way.
He doesn't move like the other guys fight. He moves slowly.
Yeah.
Because look at Diane. He walks like this.
All the cameras are
And he walks like this. It's an old man. And he laughs and he goes like this. And he moves around. And when you're watching him, he goes and he laughs like that. He's with white hair. Very white hair. Huh? He's around here in the middle. You can feel it. You see, I have goosebumps because of his energy. His head is right there.
He's that little?
Yes.
On my infrared camera, I just captured something I think is phenomenal find. This particular entity is supposed to be an old man, and it moved very, very slow. If you look at the lower left-hand corner of the frame, you can see Virginia point to clearance well before the cameras ever pick it up. I think this is kind of amazing, and I think he's also the best example of an orb that we've caught on film.
We were having trouble getting some images of him in the camera, and eventually she pointed directly to him, and we, as you can see in the video, we move our camera up to follow the path of her point, and sure enough, a bright orb appears in the middle of the camera, and we were able to follow him around the room. It was moving very slowly. It's supposed to be an old man.
God.
Well, because he knows that we're here now, he's making, you know.
When a person has a ghost or a spirit, I advise them just to have patience, and what happen is all the scary thing and they show in the movies and Hollywood are just the movies, because in reality the spirits think that we are the invader. So, or they try to get your attention and they move things, or they touch you, say, look, I'm here, pay attention to me, you are invading my house or you're invading my place, listen to me. So I advise the person to call a psychic, or just tell them that they're really not here. Just go with God, they're waiting for you. He's waiting for you.
Personal accounts of the security guards and frequent visitors of the Queen Mary are fairly consistent from one to the other. Virginia was talking about an entity she was communicating with in the dressing room while we were interviewing the security guard, and it wasn't until we got back to post-production that we realized that the entity that Virginia was describing and the entity that the security guard claimed he had seen months earlier were almost identical, and they hadn't spoken with each other.
Diane, it's like a long bathing suit, like it looked like a dress. It's cream, color cream, and tops with lines. And apparently she changed here, and something really happened to her. Yeah, she was killed here. I mean, in an accident.
Around, I think it was like 9:15, 9:30, and we do patrols from the top usually, unless we have to come down to the bottom. And so it's coming back up here to the pylon, the first pylon here on the pool. I looked down and I saw a lady sitting in the far corner playing with her hair. As I got to the second pylon to tell her that she couldn't be down here or make some communication with her, she was gone. I tried to look around to see where she went, and she had disappeared, and there was no sign of her after that.
Her name is Mary, and she has brown hair, brown dress that goes to the knees, and no shoes. Sometimes, the last time I came, she left all her footprint on the floor, and she likes to play around a lot.
We're getting something over here.
Yeah, that's her. She's watching right at you.
Oh yeah, I saw something move from left to right twice.
Right here, and she's this tall. See, I'm touching the top of her head. See, like that. She's around 9, I should say 9 years old. It's very small. One of the guides told me that they think this door is a portal to the other side. But what I see was these ghosts, they come from inside out, not from
outside in is because it was a lot of movement in that room before, and they put a glass here, but before was a door here.
The boiler room is known as G-Deck, and it's also known as one of the most active spots on the ship.
Caught my attention back this way in the boiler room here, so using an infrared thermometer, it casts a beam and measures the temperature of whatever site it lands on. So that was 59 or 60. And often spirit activity is correlated with a drop in temperature or a rise in temperature, but something dramatically different from what the room is. So everything I've measured so far has been between 58 and 60. If I suddenly measured a 75, I would need to write it down and ask either the person who's guiding us, Greg, why. If I suddenly ran across a 42, something dramatically different, I'd bring people over to have them note the occurrence. But essentially, the idea is to find an area that maybe something's centered in.
This meter, basically when I flick it on, flick the switch, give it a second, it starts working, and this one has to be operated in a side-to-side motion. To continue use, you have to swing it side by side. It has to actually pass through an electromagnetic field, and it picks up the reading and it'll feed back. And what you're looking for, standard, is anywhere between 2 and 8 milligauss on this scale.
This particular night, we really didn't find anything, even though there were a few things heard by the crew.
Investigation, the cargo hold, Virginia pointed out a man who had died there.
And a big accident or something happened very bad, and he was walking up and he fell, and he hit his head, and Diane felt it, and that's how he drowned. And a lot of oil was there, drops and drops. Spell.
Is it a spirit or a ghost?
It's a spirit.
And where's he right now?
He's in this room. He walks around. They show me like a movie how they died, and they relive it, and they want to get out, but they can't. They don't know they're dead. He's still working around. He's watching us, but I feel sorry for him.
As far as the Queen Mary goes, we didn't pick up a lot of activity there, but that's not to say that there isn't a lot of activity. That particular night that we shot also happened to be the prom night for the local high school, so we got a lot of individuals on the boat, and we've noticed while traveling with the San Gabriel Valley Paranormal Rangers, the smaller the group, generally the better the results.
How's it going, Cliff? Well, they claim they're seeing things downstairs, but I haven't really seen anything yet.
Whaley House is in downtown San Diego, Old Town San Diego. And the thing about that is, you always have to be careful anytime there's an old town anything, because it's going to be a tourist trap. And one thing that seems to bring the tour is ghosts and legends.
We put it as some, and then passing number 2 is mean activity, more than energy of the human. So when it stays steady, and then it's energy in there. Yeah? So we try to move around, but they move fast. They run. They move very fast.
And you've been getting readings tonight?
Yes. Right now they're moving that way.
For a number of years, there's been a report at the Whaley House of a crying woman in the upstairs bedroom, one of them, the bedroom closest to the stairs.
While I was coming down the stairs from the theater room, I had the camera on, and so my microphone was picking up audio that I couldn't hear because it's more sensitive than my hearing. And when we got back to post, we played the tape back over a high-quality speaker system, and we noticed a faint crying coming from where appeared to be the room next to the stairs, where Thomas Whaley's wife found her dead baby.
They want to be known, see? That's what they hear. They think that they can't get out, but they're wrong, see?
So I was just back in the stage area when I walked into the room, as you'll see on tape. Things were flying around by the ceiling. Something came right by my head and made a noise. It's really weird.
Cliff and I were investigating in separate areas, and I was checking out this one particular area, and Cliff ran up to me and said, "Hey, I think I found something that you'll find is interesting in my camera." And he opened up the viewfinder and played back the clip for me, and sure enough, there were a bunch of little bright lights flying across the room that we couldn't explain, and that we later checked out with both the cameras. Two different types of cameras had them point at the same spot, collecting the same evidence. And sure enough, both cameras caught the same objects flying across the ceiling.
Holy crap, dude. That is nuts. My god. Dude, they're all over the place. Okay, that's going crazy.
Ooh, dude, did you just see that?
Yeah, I saw that one.
Okay, all the windows in here are covered, and we're getting tons of little orbs flying across the ceiling.
Oh my god, you see that one on the right? Oh my god. Dude, they're all over the place.
The stuff we caught on film, for the most part, coincided with their data collection. So I thought that was pretty amazing.
This is turning to be more interesting than we thought.
Yeah. I would agree with that. Oh my god, you see that one? Well, holy crap.
It's really hard to explain what I interpret an orb as. I would hate to go as far as to say it's a spirit, but I would like to go a little bit farther and say that it's not supernatural. Obviously these are something that occur naturally that we just haven't been able to see for some time. We haven't had the technology to see these things.
In my opinion, as someone who's familiar with video cameras and actually physics, in my opinion, I'm pretty sure that orbs are not lens flares or bugs or dust or even a camera anomaly like an electronic malfunction in the CCD itself.
There's something out there that exists that we do not understand.
Go out and get yourself a cheap camera, set it up in a location that's rumored to be haunted, spend a day at that spot, a day at another spot, and you'll get your own orbs.
I would like to send a message to the people about ghosts and spirits. First of all, ghosts are very different from spirits. Spirits, they come and go will. Ghosts are just energies that repeat itself. My message to the people is that we don't die, we exist.